You may be praying for something today, a job, a relationship, a breakthrough, a healing, and it feels delayed. It feels like nothing is moving. You're wondering, why is it taking so long? Why is Allah not giving me what I'm asking for? But I want to tell you today, just because it's delayed doesn't mean it's denied. Sometimes Allah withholds what you're praying for because He has written something far greater, far higher, far more beautiful, far more powerful than what you asked for. You're asking for what you think you need, but Allah is preparing what He knows you need. You see, you're asking for a door to open. Allah is preparing a palace. You're asking for a small blessing. Allah is writing a chapter of abundance. You're asking for relief from the storm. Allah is shaping you to rise above the storm. The delay is not a punishment, it's preparation. The unanswered prayer is not rejection, it's redirection. Sometimes Allah will close a door, but not because He wants to hold you back. He closes it because your destiny is not behind that door. And when Allah has written greatness for you, no disappointment can erase it. No person can block it. No setback can stop it. No enemy can destroy it. You may think you're being overlooked. You may think life is unfair. You may feel like things are slow. But what Allah has written for you is already on the way. It's bigger than what you're praying for. It's better than what you're imagining. It's more beautiful than the plan you had for yourself. Get ready, you're about to see why the delay was necessary. You're about to understand why certain prayers weren't answered. You're about to realize that Allah's plan was always greater than your request. Today, I want to talk to you about something that can transform the way you see your life, your future, and your challenges. The topic is, what Allah has written for you is greater than what you're praying for. So often, we come to Allah with our needs. We pray with sincerity, we ask with hope, we wait with patience. But when things don't happen the way we expect, we begin to get discouraged. We think Allah is silent. We think He's not listening. We think His plan has paused. But the truth is, Allah is too wise to give you something too early and too loving to give you something too small. Where you see delay, Allah sees development. Where you see closed doors, Allah sees protection. Where you see confusion, Allah sees the perfect time to reveal a blessing that will leave you speechless. The blessing you're praying for might be good, but what Allah has written for you is divinely crafted, uniquely tailored, and far greater than anything you're asking for. You're not being ignored, you're being prepared. You're not being held back, you're being positioned. You're not stuck, you're being set up for something beyond your imagination. So today, I want you to lift your faith, raise your expectations, and trust that Allah never subtracts without adding something better. He never delays without purpose. He never withholds without replacing it with something greater. Get ready, your greater is coming. When we say Allah's timing is always perfect, it's not just a phrase to make us feel better. It's a powerful truth that can change how we handle every season of life. You and I, we see only a small piece of the puzzle. We see today, we remember yesterday, and we guess about tomorrow. But Allah sees the full picture. He knows where you've been, where you are, and exactly where you need to be. Sometimes we want something right now because it looks good, it feels right, and we think, if I get this, everything will be fine. But Allah knows whether that thing will bring peace to your heart or pain to your soul. He knows whether that opportunity will lift you higher or pull you away from Him. So when He delays, when He says, not yet, it's not because He has forgotten you. It's because His timing is working out something better than you understand. Think about how we are when we're in hardship. We pray, we beg, we cry. We ask, La Allah. When? Ya Allah, how much longer? And when nothing seems to change, we start to think that maybe Allah is not happy with us. Maybe we are not worthy. Maybe our dua is not strong enough. But in reality, sometimes the waiting season is the most blessed season of your life, because that's where your heart becomes softer, your faith becomes deeper, and your connection with Allah becomes stronger. If Allah gave you everything the moment you asked, you might start depending on the gift and forget the giver. So He stretches the time. He extends the wait, not to break you, but to build you. Look back at your own life. There were things you wanted so badly in the past, people you thought you couldn't live without, jobs you thought were your only chance, plans you thought were perfect. And today, when you look back, you can see that if Allah had given you exactly what you asked for back then, you wouldn't be where you are now. You wouldn't have learned what you learned. You wouldn't have become who you are. That's Allah's timing. He lets certain people leave your life at a specific time. He closed certain doors at the very last minute. He placed you in situations where you had no option except to say, Hasbun Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. At the time it hurt, but later you realized that every delay, every detour, every disappointment was part of a timing that was nothing short of perfect. When we rush, we make decisions out of fear. When we're impatient, we accept less than what we deserve. But when we trust Allah's timing, we calm our hearts and remember that the one who controls time is never late. The sunrise doesn't appear a second early or a second late. The rain doesn't fall a drop before its time. The baby doesn't arrive a month before Allah has written. Everything in the universe is running on a schedule that He designed. Your life is no different. Your rizq has an appointed time. Your breakthrough has an appointed time. Your healing has an appointed time. The right person, the right opportunity, the right opening, it's all written with precision. So even when you don't understand the delay, you can rest in the fact that Allah is not just preparing the blessing for you, He is also preparing you for the blessing. And when both are ready, that's when His perfect timing will unfold in your life. When something you deeply want doesn't happen, when a plan falls apart, when a door that looked perfect suddenly closes, it's easy to think you've been rejected. It's easy to feel like Allah is saying no to you. But the truth is, many times Allah is not rejecting you at all. He is protecting you. You see, we judge everything by how it looks on the outside. If it feels good, if it seems right, if it fits our plan, we assume it must be good for us. But Allah knows the unseen. He knows the hidden traps, the future pain, the disappointment you can't see yet. So when He delays something, when He removes something, when He keeps you from something, He is often saving you from a difficulty you would not have survived. What feels like rejection is really divine protection working behind the scenes. Sometimes the things we think are blessings are actually distractions. A relationship you prayed for might have looked loving, but Allah knew it would drain your peace. A job you wanted might have looked promising, but Allah knew it would take you away from your purpose. An opportunity you asked for might have looked like your big break, but Allah knew it would lead you down a path that wasn't meant for you. Instead of letting you walk into harm, He redirected you. You may have cried over that closed door. You may have begged for it. You may have questioned yourself. But Allah was doing what a loving Lord does, shielding you from what you couldn't see. Think about the times in your life when something didn't work out. You were disappointed. You felt let down. But later, when the truth came out, when the situation unfolded, when you saw what was behind that door, you realized, alhamdulillah, that it didn't happen. That realization is not a coincidence. That is Allah showing you, even after the fact, that His protection was at work long before you understood it. If you had stepped into that situation, you would have been hurt. If that person had stayed in your life, they would have broken you. If that opportunity had come to you, it would have crushed your spirit. Allah protected you by delaying it, by closing it, by removing it. We often ask Allah to bless us, but we forget that one of the greatest blessings is being saved from something harmful. We ask Him for ease, but we forget that sometimes ease comes through being steered away from the wrong direction. A delay can be a blessing because it gives time for what isn't meant for you to fall away. A closed door can be a blessing because it forces you to step toward the door meant for you. A shift in plans can be a blessing because it places you exactly where you need to be, even if you didn't choose it. When Allah delays something, it's not because He's punishing you. When He withholds something, it's not because you are unworthy. When He closes a door, it's not because He wants you to suffer. It is because His knowledge is perfect, His care is perfect, His protection is perfect. He sees what you cannot see, and He knows what you cannot know. Every delay is crafted with wisdom, every redirection with love, every closed door with mercy. Trust that when Allah protects you from something, it is because He has written something far better, far safer, far more fulfilling for your heart and your future. When you're praying for something, you're praying from the level of your understanding, from the level of your desire, from the level of what you can see. But Allah, in His infinite knowledge, writes from a higher level. He writes from a place of perfect wisdom, perfect timing, and perfect love. What you're asking for might be good, but Allah's plan for you is not just about good. His plan is about what is best, what is most beneficial for your heart, your faith, your growth, and your future. That means the blessing you're praying for might be smaller than the blessing Allah has written. And sometimes the only way for you to receive the greater blessing is for the smaller one to be withheld. We often limit ourselves without even realizing it. We pray for a small increase when Allah wants to give us abundance. We pray for a simple opportunity when Allah has written a destiny that will elevate us beyond what we imagine. We pray for a temporary comfort when Allah has designed a long-term peace. You might be praying for a specific job, but Allah has written success for you in a completely different field. You might be praying for a certain person to stay in your life, but Allah has written someone who will treat you with more respect, love, and sincerity than you've ever experienced. You might be praying for a quick solution, but Allah has written a complete transformation. Sometimes we hold on to our small prayers because we're afraid to let go, afraid to trust, afraid to believe that something greater could actually be ours. But Allah is not limited by our fear, our imagination, or our expectations. He removes what is small because He has prepared what is greater. When something slips out of your hands, when a plan collapses, when a dream falls apart, it's not always a loss. Sometimes it's a sign that Allah is clearing space in your life. He's making room for something bigger, something more meaningful, something that matches the greatness He has written for you. What you're praying for often fits your comfort zone, but what Allah has written fits your potential. Your prayer is shaped by your current situation, but Allah's decree is shaped by your entire future. You see today, He sees the next 10 years. You see the moment. He sees the destiny. And because His perspective is higher, His gifts are higher. Because His knowledge is complete, His blessings are complete. You're asking for what you think will make you happy, but Allah gives you what will make you whole. There are times when you need to pause and say, maybe what I want is not everything Allah wants for me. Maybe my prayer is limited, but His mercy is limitless. And in that moment of surrender, you open the door to blessings you couldn't have written for yourself. Allah doesn't let you settle for less. He doesn't let you shrink your destiny. He doesn't let you hold on to something beneath your worth. When He withholds your small prayer, it's because He has already written a greater chapter, and that chapter will unfold in your life when you're ready to receive it. Closed doors can feel painful, confusing, and discouraging, especially when you were sure that what you wanted was right for you. You prepared yourself, you prayed for it, you hoped for it, and just when you thought everything was coming together, the door shut. It's natural in those moments to wonder why it happened, to question yourself, to think something is wrong. But a closed door is not a sign of failure. It's not a sign that Allah has abandoned you. A closed door is often one of the greatest signs that Allah is redirecting you toward your true destiny. You see, there are paths in life that look appealing but lead nowhere. There are opportunities that shine on the outside but are hollow on the inside. There are people who seem perfect at first, but are not meant for your journey. When Allah closes a door, He is removing you from a path that would have delayed your growth, distracted your heart, or damaged your future. We think we know what's best for us because we judge things by appearance. If something looks promising, we chase it. If it looks secure, we cling to it. But Allah sees beyond the surface. He sees where that road leads. He knows the conversations you never heard, the intentions you never knew, the challenges you aren't equipped for yet. He knows the emotional pain that could have broken you, the disappointment that could have crushed your spirit, the pressure that could have harmed your faith. Instead of letting you walk blindly into something that wasn't meant for you, He closes the door firmly, even if it hurts in the moment. What feels like loss is actually protection. What feels like rejection is actually direction. Sometimes Allah closes a door because you're thinking too small. You're limiting yourself to what's familiar and comfortable, while Allah wants to elevate you to something greater. A closed door pushes you to rethink, to move, to explore new possibilities. It forces you out of your routine and into the unknown where your true growth happens. If the door you wanted stayed open, you might settle for less. You might never discover the higher purpose that Allah has written for you. Closed doors push you toward the opportunities that match your potential, not just your preference. You may not see it yet, but every closed door is connected to a better opening. Every ending is connected to a new beginning. Every no from Allah carries within it a greater yes. That's waiting at the right time. The delay, the disappointment, the sudden shift, none of it is random. It's all calculated with precision. Allah is not just closing doors. He's aligning people, events, and circumstances so that when the right door opens, you walk into it prepared, confident, and stronger than before. Closed doors teach reliance. They teach humility. They teach patience. They teach trust. They remind you that your life is not guided by chance, but by the one who knows every hidden and seen detail. So instead of mourning the doors that close, shift your heart and say, if Allah closed it, it wasn't my path. If He removed it, it wasn't my portion. If He ended it, it wasn't my destiny. Because when Allah closes one door, He is not taking something away from you. He is guiding you step by step to a place where the blessing fits your purpose, not just your desire. Allah removes what was never meant for you, not to hurt you, but to free you. Sometimes you're holding on to something with all your strength, a person, a plan, a dream, because you believe it is the key to your happiness. But Allah, in His mercy, takes it away because He knows it would limit you, distract you, or break you in ways you don't yet understand. What you see as loss is often divine protection in disguise. You may not realize it in the moment, but later you look back and say, if that had stayed in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. There are things you wanted to keep, things you cried over, things you begged Allah to preserve, but He removed them because they were not aligned with your future. They were temporary chapters, not permanent destinations. Allah removes people whose intentions were not sincere, opportunities that weren't meant to grow with you, and situations that would have drained your peace. You might feel empty when something leaves, but that emptiness is actually space being cleared for something better. When Allah removes, He is not subtracting, He is making room for what truly belongs to your destiny.